We never thought we'd say this publicly, but after years of dependence, deception, and denial,
We've decided to part ways.
alright, before anyone panics, no, we're not breaking up. We're good, we promise. What we're doing is being very intentional about walking away from a lifestyle that wasn't serving us. A lifestyle where debt felt normal, stress was constant, and money was running us. If you're new here, I'm Joseph.
And I'm B. And we're a young married couple from London. And like a lot of people our age, especially people who look like us, we weren't really taught how money works. We were taught how to survive, not necessarily how to build. Debt slowly became normal, credit cards felt harmless, loans felt necessary, and before we knew it, we were working hard but not really moving forward. What changed for us was realizing that being broke isn't just about a lack of income. It's about systems, habits, and a lack of information. And the hardest part wasn't the numbers. It was actually admitting that we were wrong, which was hard because ego is a real thing for all of us. And me, don't judge me. But at the end of the day, we weren't victims in this. We were participants.
Yeah, that's right. So instead of complaining about it, we decided to educate ourselves. We decided to face the numbers and choose a strategy that actually makes sense for us. That strategy is called the Debt Avalanche. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down exactly how we're using it with real numbers, real screenshots, and where we're at with it right now. We're not here to flex or anything like that. We're just here to show that change is possible, even if you're starting behind. Because guys, trust me when I say this, you're just one mindset shift away from changing your whole financial outlook. So let's actually talk about what the Debt Avalanche is. Because the name sounds intense, but the concept is actually really simple. The Debt Avalanche is a method where you list all the debts in order of interest rate, from highest to lowest interest. Not by balance, not by the biggest monthly payment, but by which debt is costing you the most money every single month. The key word here is costing. Because at the end of the day, the interest is the thing that keeps people stuck. It's the price you pay for borrowing money. And yes, even money itself has a cost.
Exactly. And if we want real change, we have to be real about where we are. Interest is sneaky. You don't really notice it at first. You're making payments and you think you're doing the right thing, but then you check your balance and it barely moves. That's because a big chunk of what you're paying is just servicing the interest. It's not actually reducing the debt. And over time, that adds up to thousands of pounds that could have stayed in your pocket or even been invested.
So here's how the Debt Avalanche works in practice. You make the minimum payment on every single debt you have. Then you take any extra money, whether that's from overtime, a side hustle, or just money that you freed up from budgeting, and you throw it at the debt with the highest interest rate. Once that debt's paid off, you roll that payment plus the extra money into the next highest interest debt and repeat the process and keep repeating the process until everything is gone. Why did we choose it? So when we decided to take our finances seriously, we knew that we couldn't skip out on the foundation. It's very difficult to build wealth whilst carrying high interest debt because every pound that you try to grow is being pulled back by liabilities. Debt can feel like shackles, like weights that are tied to your progress. You might be earning more, you might even be investing, but if your interest is quietly draining 30, 40, even 60% in the background, you're building on unstable ground. So for us, the Debt Avalanche wasn't just about paying things off. It was actually about clearing that foundation first, so that when we do build, we'll be building on a solid ground.
Exactly. And now some people prefer the debt snowball method as well, right? Where you pay off the debt with the smallest balance first for quick wins. And that can work really well for motivation because you get quick psychological wins right off the bat. But for us, we wanted the most efficient route out, not just the quickest emotional win. We wanted a system that worked in our favor. So that's why we chose the avalanche instead of the snowball. And I'll tell you what, for the first time, we actually felt in control. So now you understand the method. we're going to show you exactly how we applied the debt avalanche to our own situation. We'll walk you through our real numbers, our real debts, and where we're at right now. No filters, no flexing, just pure transparency.
To be honest with you guys, this level of transparency is naturally quite uncomfortable for us, but hiding it is what keeps you stuck because you feel like you're having to conform to societal norms. But with that being said, let's move on and show you guys our debt avalanche. Quick disclaimer before we go any further. We're not financial advisors, accountants, or financial professionals of any kind. Everything we're sharing in this video is based on our personal experience and what's worked for us.
Exactly, guys. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice or recommendation for your specific situation. Everybody's finances are different, so please do your own research and speak to a qualified professional before making any financial decision. We are simply just sharing our journey and being transparent. So this is where we started. In October, we added everything up. Every loan, every credit card, every overdraft, even the ones we tried not to think about. And trust me, I tried to not think about some. And the number came to £22,181.94. I'm just going to let that sink in for a sec. Like we were thinking, like, how did we get here, right? Like, how did two individuals accumulate this? This wasn't just one mistake, but it was an accumulation of poor choices. And that was the moment we realized that this wasn't normal debt. This was years of saying, we'll sort it out later, we'll sort it out later, we'll sort it out later. And later, finally arrived.
And it wasn't just one big loan. It was multiple high interest debts. Some of them at 30%, some at nearly 40%. Even one was at 69.9%.
Can you imagine?
That's hella awkward. That one hurt for real. But anyway, we're going to move over to the computer now and show you our debt avalanche tracker. So this is our actual debt avalanche tracker. As you can see, the debts here are listed in order of highest interest rate to lowest interest rate. We track the interest rate, minimum payments, the balance, and every overpayment. And we attack the highest interest at all times. This isn't random, it's strategic and intentional.
So as you can see here, guys, we started the debt avalanche in October 2025. And this is where we are now in March 2026. The debts are listed from the highest interest rate on the left to the lowest interest rate on the right, with the total at the end of every month on the far right at the end of the page there. So as you can see, we started in October 2025, where the total was at £22,181.94. And you can see by the end of February, our total was at £6,549.22. So in roughly 4 months, we've reduced our debt by over £15,000.
That's mad, actually. It's actually quite amazing. And just to be clear, some of these are completely gone. The debts in green are completely paid off as of right now. We'll break down each debt one by one and show you how we got here. Now, some of you may be wondering why some of these debts on the right are paid off, even though they're not in order of the avalanche. That's because they are some of our older debts, which were coming to an end of their payment plans anyway, so they ended before we could get to them with the avalanche.
If we're honest, the biggest mistake we made wasn't taking the debt. It was actually pretending that it wasn't that bad. We normalized it and we told ourselves, everyone has debt, right? Everyone has a bit of debt. We told ourselves that as long as we can afford the minimums, it's fine, it's fine. But the minimum payments are a trap. You feel responsible, but you're not actually moving forward. We didn't understand interest properly. We didn't understand that 30, 40, 69.9% APR wasn't just a number. It was time being stolen from our future.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the other mistake we made, we didn't track anything. There was no system, no order, no intentionality. The moment we put everything together in one place and faced the reality of our situation, it stopped being emotional and it started being strategic again. And we felt so much more at ease with one another because if you have a partner, trust me, do this together. There's no need to hide this from them. You're so much stronger tackling this as a unit than as individuals.
Okay, so the next question people ask is, how are you actually affording this? Because we didn't suddenly win the lottery.
It's a good question.
We didn't get rich. We didn't sell a course. And we definitely didn't get a big inheritance. What we did was simple. We got serious and learned about financial literacy. So here are 4 key things that have helped us with our debt avalanche journey.
Yeah, that's right. So number 1 is income discipline. Most people can give themselves multiple income streams if they want to. You just have to be intentional with your time and your efforts. Part-time jobs, freelancing, doing delivery services, running an online business. These are all extra incomes for yourself. For me personally, I work overtime, I run my own electrical business, and I'm a day trader. Instead of letting all that extra income disappear, I put it all towards the debt avalanche and prioritize our highest interest debt. Most people actually earn very well, but waste income on things that they don't really need. We told ourselves that the only thing we need is to pay off our debts and earn back our time.
And that brings us to point number 2, which is avoiding the lifestyle creep. This is a very common one. So we stopped upgrading our lifestyle. So no random takeaways for me, specifically. No impulse payday, Amazon orders, PLT orders, no financing things that we can't afford, and absolutely no holidays in this period. Because if you increase your spending when you earn more, you have to work harder to maintain it. Remember, we're not trying to work harder, we're now trying to work smarter.
That's for sure. Number 3 is to budget with intention. We told every pound where to go. Minimum payments were all covered. Emergency fund, all sorted. Everything else went straight towards the avalanche. No hesitation. And to be honest, when paying off debts, when that's your top priority, something shifts mentally. Your brain actually starts protecting that goal. Spending money on things that you don't need actually starts to feel quite uncomfortable because it conflicts with who you're becoming. That's when discipline actually just becomes natural.
And that ties in perfectly with our last point, number 4, which is emotional discipline. Guys, the hardest part wasn't financial, it was saying no. Saying no to impulses that controlled us before. It was watching other people live freely whilst we locked in. But we realized something: short-term sacrifice for long-term freedom. Because it doesn't take long for you to turn your financial picture around, because you benefit from this short term of sacrifice for the foreseeable future.
And here's the exciting part. We're not even finished. As of now, like we're sitting at under 7K in our debts remaining. And, that's down from 22,181 from back in October. And because we're using the debt avalanche, the highest interest debt is already gone. It's already gone. So now every month, more of our payments are actually just reducing principal, which means now it's even faster acceleration towards the finish line.
Exactly that. So if we stay consistent, if we keep throwing surplus money at it and we don't relapse into our old habits, we're on track to be completely debt free by July 2026.
That's crazy.
And when that happens, it's not just about the money, it's about the control that you gain back. It's about the peace. And it's about never being in this position again. So if you're watching this and you're feeling overwhelmed, trust me, we were too. I was. But the numbers don't shrink when you ignore them. They shrink when you attack them. And we're attacking ours. So the question is, will you attack yours?
The thing is, this is just the beginning. We didn't grow up being taught this. We weren't shown how interest works. We weren't shown how to build wealth. But we're learning now. And instead of keeping that to ourselves, we're documenting it. So every month, we're going to be showing you the real numbers, the wins, the setbacks, and the sacrifices. No filters, no pretending. Just two normal people like me and B trying to build a better life for ourselves. So if you're on your own debt payoff journey, or you feel stuck, or you've even never been shown how money actually works, trust me, you're not behind. You're just starting. We started back in October. It's March now. And we've completely changed our direction.
Imagine where we'll be, this time next year, So with that being said, if you want to follow our journey, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button so you never miss a video from us. And we just want to appreciate our current subscribers, our OG subscribers, and our new subscribers. We know that our family has grown. We started this channel, just me, and now it's the both of us doing it together. So on that note, guys, let's jet to success together. We'll see you in the next video.
See you in the next one, guys.
Take care.